Hey guys, why did the crazy train get into trouble?
Because it was loco?
It had locomotives. Welcome back to the podcast.
Well,
It's going to be the least listened to podcast because they're going to get through like the first 5 seconds and be like, no, fuck it.
Where'd that come from?
Locomotion. You see, when a mommy pizza
He
loves a daddy
offered you
pizza.
pizza.
No, he was making a pee-pee. And anyways, Brian talked about some ghosts last week or a few days ago, whenever this is going to come out. Whenever these things come out. I'm getting a finger. Oh, there it is. It's right way
2
now.
of them.
Oh, nice.
Is it too quiet? Do you want me to turn it up?
It was a shocker. Oh, calm it down. Anyways, so Brian talked about some ghosts the last segment. I also want to talk about ghosts.
I thought we all talked about
We
it.
did. He brought it up. It was kind of his topic.
Oh, I
He
see what
brought
you're
that
saying.
bullshit this way.
So,
So
a good topic to bring, Brian. Thanks
it
for
was.
that.
Boo. I do appreciate it. Did he scare you?
A little bit.
You jumped. I got a little pee in my...
No, I heard that was in the toilet. And some on your floor.
In the toilet.
Thank you for that.
I shook vigorously.
I fell in the toilet.
So I don't really have a staunch belief on ghosts, but then again, I do have a belief in ghosts. So it kind of also just depends on how you want to define it. How...
My topic is how Brian's topic is false because I don't believe in ghosts. Cool.
Are you trying to reword what you think I'm saying?
I'm the subtitles.
Oh, it's totally off.
Is there onions on this?
I don't know. My wife made it. I think it's just a
It's goat cheese,
mozzarella,
protein-
mozzarella,
protein-
pepperoni, some formaggio.
protein powder.
Yeah. Anyways, so what constitutes a ghost? What is the definition of ghost? How would you? Let's go, Lonnie.
Oh, you want me to start?
Someone who doesn't
Yeah.
text you back.
That bitch!
Accurate.
To me, what a ghost is energy left over once an object has passed.
Okay.
Boy,
Do you have a definition? What would you define a
I
ghost
don't
as?
know if I know how to define a ghost.
I think this is also kind of one of the things that it's very.
A soul that has something left unsettled.
But that's you have to believe in a
Shut up!
Lonnie, sweet, dumb Lonnie.
He
I
told
don't
you.
believe in souls.
Yeah.
That's because you don't have
I think
one.
it could be multiple things. I could be people left over, stuck. Could be just energy stuck in material.
Well, that's a big word for me.
Could
to know.
be just science that we don't
How do you
understand
say
yet.
that word?
Which word is it?
Why is my volume down?
Nebulous.
Nebulous.
That's how you
Could be a nebulous, apparently.
Well, it says typically as a nebulous image, which is a form of a cloud or haze.
Yeah.
An apparition of a dead... Webster's dictionary says, an apparition of a dead person which is believed to appear or become manifest to the living.
I can.
A faint trace of something. A faint secondary image produced by a fault in an... Okay, that's...
I don't buy that shit.
I think. Yeah. I mean, most people would gear it into some sort of supernatural. It can be
To end
something.
a personal relationship.
Yeah.
That's
well,
on here too.
that counts. It's like an entity that is left over after death. Something that was living at one point that is no longer living. Those are usually what people constitute as ghosts. So the terminology is still vague at that point. Because do you think that, and this is one of the things that really irritates me about like ghost displaying or movies and stuff like that. It's like, can they be ghosts?
Well, basically, anything can be a ghost as long as it has some type of residual effect once it's gone.
Okay. But I mean, like, what irritates me the most about certain ghost sightings and stuff is like, you know, especially like the colonial times or Victorian times and stuff. Like you see these ghosts and they're still wearing the clothes. It's like, the clothes didn't die. Why are the person not just naked? Why is everybody clothed? Is there energy inside some sort of nylon or whatever? I don't know,
What?
whatever they're
Yes.
wearing.
Yes,
Like
absolutely.
Civil War ghost. Like, why are they in Civil War clothes
Yeah.
still?
It's like fucking
But they're
clock
stuck
out,
in a time
man.
loop.
Clock out. You're off duty now.
We're stuck in
and
a time loop.
and I think that could be it. Is like just energy stuck in a time loop, and it
Yeah.
could be. It doesn't mean that someone's connected to it. It's just an energy that's
Like I said, there are
Stuck.
certain like places that kind of emit some sort of
Like
frequency.
Gettysburg.
Or where like a terrible thing has happened where it just feels haunted, like in a house or, you know,
Gettysburg.
Gettysburg. Are you happy?
Gettysburg.
But like the thing is like people say ghosts are usually around where people have passed. It was like, well, if that's the case, then hospitals should be riddled with ghosts.
They are.
That's what they say. But are they, though? You know, so I
No,
don't really
only
have
when they're abandoned.
I don't have a positive
Not
belief
like-
that, yeah.
Like if we went to Children's right now, it's probably fine.
But in that same sense, though, why are graveyards haunted then?
They're assumed to be haunted.
No one dies at a graveyard, so
No,
why
but
would there be
they're-
energy at a graveyard?
Yeah. That's
That's
what
where the body is.
yeah.
But there's no.
But how
there
long
should be,
does the-
your spirit, your soul is not connected.
I don't know.
To
You
your
saw
body.
a little girl ghost. You
I
tell
know.
us.
Unless they were killed there.
Back in
It's
the
a good
day,
place
though-
to kill somebody
in the
because nobody
day-
would suspect.
Back in the day, though, cemeteries used to be at a place, not a place of mourning, but a place of like gathering. So families used to spend numerous amounts of times at cemeteries. So you would be a place
Picnics.
of, yeah, basically. They'd go there and they'd have celebrations, celebration of life, where now they're seen as places of mourning, places of dread, places of remorse.
Places
where
of
before,
kids breaking into and trying to get shit.
yeah,
Yes.
now you go there to drink and get
Not it.
blowjobs.
Yeah,
Facts.
when I was in high school, middle school, I spent a lot of time at a cemetery that was in the ghetto. It was, well, the projects, the old projects was right next door at Prospect Hill.
It's called CVS.
And AJ wanted to rob it.
Yep.
This
AJ
is
robbed
true.
the shit out of
Nice
it.
wraparound.
This CVS, I robbed it.
But yeah, I mean, like I was kind of a groundskeeper. I wouldn't say groundskeeper.
Willie.
I was a volunteer because the guy never paid us. You know, we used to just pick up trash and
his
shit like
bitch.
that.
You just
Yeah.
showed up and picked up trash.
I'm somebody's bitch.
He got paid to live there, and we just hung out there because it was probably more safer
That's called
than just being on the
community
street.
service.
Yeah.
But
You just showed up in some guy's yard who said it was a cemetery, who buried people in his yard. You
Well,
just picked up the trash
Turned
in
out
his
the
yard.
guy he was working for was a ghost the whole time.
Old man Smithers has been dead for 61 years.
It's been
You meddling
84
kids.
years.
your little dog too.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
But we used to hang out there, pretty much into the wee hours, if you will.
The wee hour.
And we never really witnessed anything. The only thing that we kind of scared us is there's a family of foxes that used to live in the cemetery. So it's like, what the fuck was that? Oh, foxes.
Ghost foxes.
Foxy. Anyways.
Ding, 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 ding.
Like Megan
that
Fox.
So anyways, okay, going back
Her
to the
fucking thumbs are gross.
characteristics,
Ghost thumbs.
but she never shit in bed that we know of. So that's good.
Oh, I make her shit in bed
She's not dating a football.
from laughing so hard.
Anyways, so some characteristics of some ghosts, like they can be invisible or at least like see-through, translucent.
Yeah.
So ghosts are often described as being invisible to the naked eye, although some people claim to have seen or sensed their presence. We all just told some stories
Last week.
last segment, and you know, everybody kind of has like a collection of something, or most everybody has some sort of thing, or something they've heard from somebody else. But to chalk it up as like true, I mean, I think things have to be defined. You can't just assert and call it what it or what you think it was.
Well, I mean, one of the most, probably the most popular, most sold book of all time is a ghost story.
Yeah,
Well, the main elements of it's a ghost story.
Mm-hmm.
returning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's another thing, because you said something about souls too. It's like, yes, if the story,
He's talking about the Bible, people.
yeah, if souls were a thing, I don't have a
Not scary stories.
positive belief in souls either.
That's
Which is awesome.
There's like a lot of people say, like,
all
you know,
three.
when you die, your soul goes away. It's like, we don't have that. Like, what we knew is spiritus, is your breath. It's, you know, when that is leaving. But people say, like, you weigh less when you die. It's like, yeah, because you have a residual amount of lung.
Yeah, it's because you shit and piss yourself
That
when
too.
you die.
But like your lungs are usually like, even when you expel all the air forcefully, you still have air in your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're dead, you have no reflex on that, or whatever you want to call it.
You need to insert the clip from Bad Boys 2 where Will Smith talks about when dead people fart and it clears out a funeral.
What they do, they stick a tube down your throat and they just suck out all the gunk and bile. Because what happens is your body will get gaseous and you'll decompose, and they don't want that shit to happen for your family. See,
Like, I really don't need to know that right now.
what they do, they sew your mouth closed, and you know they got to get all of that out. Because like a lot of times, like dead people will fart, that shit will clear a funeral home out.
How do you know all that? I'm learning.
Got it.
That's your reminder to put that in and cut that part out.
I'm going to leave all of it.
I don't care. As
So-
long as you put that clip in there.
An ethereal appearance. Ghosts are often depicted as having a translucent, mist-like appearance. They can be, well, mist, a fog, or something like that, or just a shadow or something.
Or a spooky orb.
So intangibility. Ghosts are typically described as being as pass-through or solid objects such as walls or doors. It's like they're not restricted to anything. Although some of them restrict them to a house. I'm like, if you can pass through a wall, how come you can't pass through the door that, like, why is salt on the windows or something like that supposed to, or, you probably might know a little bit more when it comes to like the importance of salt. Well, how would you explain? How does that tie people down?
So salt is basically a boundary.
A raw
limiter.
material.
Yeah.
Our next movie, we'll talk about that as well in our movie review.
You talking about
Skeleton Key.
I
They
thought you were
talked
talking
about
about
that with
Angelina Jolie's salt movie or whatever it's called.
Nobody watched that.
Oh, okay.
There's so many different, like, we'll discuss it more once you kind of get through the bulk of your topic, but there's so many, like, when you say ghosts, it's such a broad topic. Like, are you talking ghosts in the metaphysical form? Are you talking ghosts in the religious term? Are you talking ghosts as in poltergeist, or are you talking ghosts as in this and that? And I'm sure a lot of it will be covered, but it's like salt in its purest form, the mineral type form is used as a deterrent, used as a barrier.
But why does it work?
It's
allegedly?
just it's an earth elemental item.
It's a positive charge.
Yeah.
Something. Excuse me.
Really, it's bullshit.
I think so too. Tastes good. Does it matter if it's like
If it's
sea salt?
now, if it's garlic salt, that'll keep all the Italian ghosts away
or attract them?
or attract them.
Yeah, they'll be in the kitchen.
Trick them.
Yeah.
They'll be like, ooh, garlic. Fuck, it's salt.
Ghosts are also associated with like hauntings. It's usually like a
I use
specific
garlic salt in
place
my
or something.
pasta so it doesn't stick.
Thank you.
Nice.
Very good.
You're like, whatever.
Often they have like unfinished business, which I want to kind of elaborate a little bit, just slightly, when it comes to like the unfinished business thing. Because if that's the thing, I want to sell these ghosts a new product, like GTD for ghosts, getting things done for ghosts. If you don't have all of your commitments, it's like, why are you here for like hundreds of years? Fucking take care of your shit. You have the time. So capture all this stuff, reflect on it. Never mind. We're not going to go into that. That's all I'm going to say about that. But it's a good idea. I should sell a product for like when you guys pass to how to manage yourself. You don't know how to manage your ghost life. Nobody has experience on it. So they're apparitions. Ghosts may appear as full-bodied figures, partial figures, or even orbs of light, specks of dust or something like that, or just some remnants or a feeling, whatever. People chalk it up to ghosts, I guess. Yeah. It's an unusual phenomenon. Ghosts are sometimes believed to be caused of strange occurrences, like something moving or a feeling, like it's cold now. It's probably a ghost in the room. Eerie sounds.
Yeah, not the air conditioner. They're just turned on.
Footsteps or kitchen tables. Are the entire kitchen moving? So whispers are moaning, mysterious sounds.
Help me.
Certain interactions, like a feeling of blood print on your chest or something. Yeah. Some people are trying to communicate with ghosts. Also something for Jeremy. We should start like a ghost dating or something like that. There's
Ghost dating.
Yeah, 20
Even ghosts won't date me.
Yeah, ghosts in your area trying to communicate with you,
Just
There are hot ghost singles in your area.
Just got ghosted by a ghost.
Yeah. They're trying to communicate.
Turn on this EMF
That's
meter.
ghost inception.
Oh. So residual and intellect. Ghosts can be categorized as either residual, where they repeat actions or events from the past, or intelligent, where they interact and communicate with things. I like the idea. I think that's very interesting. It's very fascinating. It's very...
Agreed.
I mean, because what I'm trying to get with when it comes to my positive belief of ghosts is not a apparition. It's not some supernatural type of thing. It's more of a psychological experience. I think there's a connection between, because the definition or how the characteristics pretty much match. Ghosts are ideas. So I want to get a little bit more into this idea here. So
on that topic, when I looked up the 10 most popular ghosts or whatever, the Flying Dutchman, non-human ghosts.
Yeah.
One of the most popular hauntings of all time.
So with residual hauntings and with intelligence haunting, but specifically focusing on residual hauntings, the best way to explain it is say you come home every day.
I'm home!
And for you, example, for being a postman, you park your truck, you get out of your truck, you walk through your front door, you shut your front door, you walk up the steps, and you take your boots off. You sit your boots down. You do the same routine every day, 5 days a week for 30 years. You do that same routine. There's going to be energy built into that routine. So when you pass away, that energy's still going to exist in that routine. It's not going to necessarily be a ghost that's opening and shutting that door. It's not going to be a ghost that you hear the footsteps coming up the steps or the sound of something sitting down. It's going to be that residual trapped energy that's been ingrained in that routine that's been happening every day, every 5 days a week for the past 5 years. That's been ingrained with, even if it's the smallest amount
Why are
of
you
energy.
trying to take my seniority away?
I'm just using.
It's more than 5 years with a.
I'm just
Well, he
using.
went from 30 to 5. I don't
I'm just using like so. For
Iowa
example,
math.
it's that constant repetitiveness of exerting just a small amount of energy every day, and that energy has no place to go because there's nowhere to exert it. So it just stays there. And once the source goes away, the energy has no other place to go. So it just continues in that path.
So I understand and believe in like the residual energy when it comes to like Newton's law and stuff like that, or potential energy, stuff like that.
Right.
But when it comes to like doing something and like the energy that is left there is probably like the warmth or something like that from your hands, heat transfer type stuff. But
But it's just all depends on what your views on spirits are, what your views on ghosts are.
I think a lot of this is culturally or religiously also influenced when it comes to ghosts
absolutely.
or spirits, also with thoughts too, because this is kind of where I'm gravitating this from. It's like when it comes to ghosts or even possession, I believe in this source of possession. There are like zombie possession that I do believe with. Like there are certain, well, I don't believe in. I know that it exists because like the what are they called? Symbiotic like things that take over ants' brains and like use them as hosts and stuff like that. Right. It makes the ant a zombie and it has no will or action to do it itself. You know?
Well, I mean, there's drugs that do that to human beings.
Yeah.
So
But possession, not in the way that people think, like not in like the supernatural sense as in like demons or anything. But then again, I believe in demons only in a poetic sense. Like I think these sorts of ideas, kind of how we were talking about with that. We did a movie where she was talking about the sort of idea that lives in your mind, and then it sorts kind of takes shape, becomes real yourself because it has a space to live. But
are you talking about Dorothy?
Yes, Dorothy's form.
Inception?
Corruptor was the movie. So something that takes a hold of you. Possession can be an idea. Someone can influence you with their words to an extent of keeping you under their control. This may be sensationalized a bit, but there are many complex concepts that we can go deep regarding the context of power and influence, like Machiavellian maneuvers, stuff like that. It's like somebody can control you through certain minimal manipulation or holding something over you. It's like they have that control over you now. You are their zombie or possessed by, but thoughts are like ghosts. They're these non-tangible things that only exist in your mind. Sometimes they can cause worry or fear. Sometimes it guides you places trying to show you something. Sometimes, despite whatever you need to do, they tend to haunt you. It's an unfinished business in your life. You walk into a room and you're like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what guided me here? It's not necessarily something supernatural. It's just like a thought that just disappeared. It's like a ghost. So these are the sorts of definition of ghost that I believe in, which, I mean, like I would say it's true because when it comes to psychology, we know little, but we have a lot of information about it, but we don't fully concept how the brain entirely works. So possession is the control it has over you. Thoughts are the ideas themselves. Ghost and ideas, both being intangible and invisible, existing only in the realm of the mind and imagination. What's scarier than something you can't see? They are also both influenced by the past and the present, and they can affect the future. So if somebody gives you some information, especially as like a young or an impressionable mind, you kind of grow with that. And you're like, fuck, man, like something that I was told to fear as a kid, it still haunts me. And I know it's not there. I can't touch it. I can't feel it or whatever. It keeps me or prevents me from doing something like cussing in the house or something like that.
Fuck.
Hey,
well, and
don't say that.
A lot of like extremely religious families, you get indoctrinated so early without the choice of such.
Right.
And you can get out at a later age, but that indoctrination's just so ingrained into you. You can't get rid of it. You don't know why you still get so terrified of things, but you just do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just the core of indoctrination itself.
Human nature, yeah.
But there are people who, like, if your wife is kind of into more like medium, would you just call them a medium?
Yeah.
Is there like more of a word? Anyways, there's certain people they feel or think or, can sense certain things like ghosts or whatever. And it's kind of like the same thing with ideas. And some of this can also be chalked down to like just reading body language. It's like I approach you, it's like, I know you're thinking about this. And it's probably just reading like a series of actions or patterns or something like that. It's like, Sherlock Holming it. But again, classifies, in my sense, under the ghost. It's non-physical, it's only mental. Just like a ghost, an idea can appear out of nowhere and vanish just as quickly. Both ghosts and ideas are produced of memory and history. So when we see certain things, it's like, oh, there's this girl in this chair. It could have been a face that you saw from a while back or whatever. That, it's kind of like dreams. All the dream characters that you see in your brain are faces and people constructed that you've seen before.
Right. You cannot create a face that you haven't seen before.
I try. Yeah.
Create bodies.
So they are shaped by the experience
Legos.
and the beliefs of the individuals and cultures, and they can inspire and haunt them. Just like a ghost, an idea can have a lasting impact and echoes throughout time. So like some people who say like, I don't know, it's like an echo of an echo. It can even go into like, well, we'll save this one for later. But who is that?
Trapped.
Thank you. Thank you. I knew it.
You just experienced a ghost, Captain.
So
You're welcome.
an idea can have a lasting impact and echoes throughout time. Lyrics from a song, quotes on a notebook. I mean, like Shakespeare. I mean, like we were just talking about Shakespeare. It's like some of his words are echoing through today, and people are actually feeling
echoing
it.
from somebody else.
And it can also be haunting to some people. Or it's like, fuck, that thing is like speaking directly to me. It's taking a hold. It's possessing you. Both ghosts and ideas are subject to change and interpretation. So if we experience the same experience, but we come out with different experiences or explanations, I should say. I go into a room and somebody says they got pushed. It's like, nobody pushed you, etc. We come out with different explanations.
You calling me a liar?
Fuck, what was that from? You cool? Never
What
mind.
kind
Anyways.
of cat would do that?
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of. So they're not fixed or static, but they can evolve or transform over time. They're not absolute or objective, but they can vary and differ depending on the perspective or context. Just like a ghost, an idea can take on different forms and meanings depending on who's looking on it. So it's like if we experience the same experience, and you might glean something else, like watching a movie. I see it this way, you see it that way. It's all cultural upbringing, also environmental too. It's like what maybe most of the things that we do can be for like survival instincts. So it's like I am conditioned or ingrained to do something this way because it's habitual, or I felt more safe doing it this way. So it, I guess, classifies under survival. But they can motivate or deter, encourage and discourage, enlighten or frighten, create and destroy. So some of these ghost ideas that we have, like so many times where I wish I could write something down and then like, fuck, that was an amazing idea. Now it's gone. And then like maybe visiting a certain place again, or smelling a smell, or hearing something like, holy shit, there it is again. Like it revisits you. It haunts you again until you capture it and put it in your little trap box. Your note taking, never mind.
Fucking stop, all right?
Forgotten ideas are like ghosts that linger in the shadows of our minds. They haunt us with their whispers and echoes, reminding us of what we left behind. But forgotten ideas are also like ghosts that inspire us to pursue new goals and challenge us to make a fresh start. Sometimes people will not enter a room because they feel like, or if it's said to be haunted because of just that. But it's like we also do that with some of our thoughts. We're afraid of like failure or what might be on the other side of that door because of something that's holding us back. But the belief and fear of ghosts challenge our understanding of reality, time, and identity. Hauntology is a concept that embraces ghosts, referring to the return of persistence of elements from the past as in the manner of ghosts. Reality is, well, I don't know, who knows?
Hauntology?
Hauntology, yeah.
I didn't know that was a word.
What reality
Makes
is
sense.
when you're talking about ghosts, like nobody knows really what reality is. You're familiar with like hauntology type of stuff, occult and hauntology type of stuff. You, maybe? Not so much?
No.
Gotcha. I mean, like,
No.
So hauntology is an influential philosophical concept that embraces ghosts in terms coined by the French philosopher Jacques Derrida in his 1993 lecture Spectres of Marx. Hauntology is a portmanteau of haunting and ontology, the study of being of existence. Hauntology refers to the return of persistence of elements from the social or cultural past, as in the manner of ghosts. Derrida argues that the present is always haunted by the specters of the past and the future, and that we can never fully grasp the origin or essence of anything. He uses the example of Marx's famous phrase, "A specter is haunting Europe," the specter of communism, to show how a political idea can haunt the present even after its apparent demise. And if I want to call back to the recent movie review, Romeo plus Juliet, Derrida also invoked Shakespeare's Hamlet, especially the phrase, "The time is out of joint," to illustrate how the ghost of Hamlet's father disrupts the order and stability of Denmark. So, psychological perspectives that help understand the belief and fear. Why do people believe in ghosts? Probably because they were just told so, or probably because religion or cultural upbringing. Belief and fear of ghosts are complex phenomena that have been explored by various disciplines such as psychology, sociology, anthropology, and philosophy. Fear can be both a hindrance and catalyst for creativity, depending on how we perceive and cope with it. Fear can limit our creativity potential by making us anxious, insecure, and doubtful about our abilities and ideas. Fear can also prevent us from taking risks, exploring new possibilities. Kind of some of the stuff I'm going to try to quicken this along a little bit, but there's certain like emotional factors. There's pareidolia, things that we're going to see patterns in certain things that can kind of connect some things. Like our brains think in association. So when we try to pinpoint something to another idea, we're trying to loop it and reach through our mind to pull out a fleshed out idea. Whereas ghosts aren't so fleshed out. So deja vu is one of the things I kind of want to speak on. Deja vu is like a ghostly experience where we feel like we have experienced something before, but can't quite place it, as if our past selves are trying to communicate with our present selves. The interconnectedness of ghosts, thoughts, and memories lie in our ability to transcend time and space and connect us to the past in ways that are both haunting and beautiful. You guys experience deja vu, I would imagine, many times on a daily basis, maybe?
I wouldn't say daily, but
if it's
randomly, like a repetitive, it's like, fuck, man, I did this. Have you ever predicted something through your deja vu?
I was going to ask you about precognition.
I have I don't know. That
happens to me and my brother all the time. Not anything important like lottery numbers or anything. That would be fucking wonderful. But just like I've been in a room in my old apartment and I just stopped out of nowhere and like went and grabbed my phone in my pocket and then it rang because I knew who it was. And I didn't even open it. Hey, Melissa, how's it going? Just random stuff like that.
I believe in like synchronicity, stuff like that. That could be like precognition, but it's like you start singing a song, turn on a radio, and there it is. Or I've had a deja vu event where I was at like an IHOP or Village Inn or whatever, and I was like, holy shit.
Dave called and quit.
Dave called and quit.
It was like something is about to break, and then somebody dropped a tray coming out of the kitchen. I was like, did I know that? But it could have just been a queer. A mere
could have been a fucking queer. Dropping plates.
We are losing so much of our demographic tonight.
Speaking of dropping plates, shout out to Disturbed.
A mere coincidence. Ooh, a queer mid-incidence? No.
Wow.
And for that, I'm hitting the floor.
Boom.
Oh, Lonnie's going to the floor.
But yeah, no, I went on a while back. I went on
this
like a
microphone's
little
not even down there.
Journal entry that I was kind of trying to progress this idea for this podcast. I'm going to read this. Forgotten ideas are like ghosts because they both represent the immaterial aspect of human existence. They are not physical objects that can be measured or observed, but they are mental phenomena that can be experienced or imagined. They are not bound by the laws of nature or logic, but they are influenced by the values and beliefs of individuals and societies. They are not subject to the effects of aging or death, but they are affected by the changes and challenges of history and culture. Forgotten ideas are like ghosts because they both reveal the hidden potentials and possibilities of human beings. They are not mere illusions or fantasies, but they are expressions of creativity and innovation. They are not random or meaningless, but they are reflections of intuition and insight. They are not passive or inert, but they are catalysts of growth and change. Forgotten ideas are like ghosts because they both persist in the depths of human consciousness and unconsciousness. They are not erased or lost, but they are stored and retrieved. They are not ignored or neglected, but they are recognized and appreciated. They are not discarded or wasted, but they are utilized and transformed. This is one possibility. Explain this philosophically or whatever. How many books or movies have you consumed that shaped your idea or reality or unlocked like a new fear? Like you watched, I think all of us kind of did the same thing watching that dude get on an elevator and then the elevator just drops.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, fuck, nope. I'm just going to, if I ever use one, I'm going to jump right in and
or
jump
like
right
we were
out.
talking about earlier, the movie Jaws, like how many people were afraid to go in the water after, that's literally the tagline of the movie.
I'm a Jew. I'm scared of everything.
scared of hot ovens,
scared of smoke, scared of showers,
scared of blonde people with blue eyes.
We're usually afraid of the things or the unknown, things
Short
that we
people
cannot
with
see.
mustaches.
Yeah.
And our mind has like
people waving who don't wave very enthusiastically.
I was thinking of. Never mind. Anyways, so
Hail Smoochie.
Fuck, what was I saying?
I don't know the
Totally-
way.
Influenced by books and movies and
Yeah.
stuff.
Kind of like
those
unlocks
have-
new fears and shit like that.
Yeah.
So, damn, I just totally lost my train of thought here. I
Sorry.
didn't write any of this down. But anyways,
Way to go.
yeah, no, it's just kind of a thoughts are ghost. You know, like I mean, if you have like a brain injury or something like that, maybe you kind of like erase that part of you. But like certain psychological practices, therapy, hypnosis, and stuff like that can kind of get you to retrieve certain things like repressed traumas and stuff like that. So we go around in life with these certain fears, the things that we can't see, and our mind puts in the pieces, kind of how like when we
Fills in
dream
the
and stuff like
blanks,
that. Yeah. So to me, that is a ghost. Different idea or take on it, but yeah, that's all I got.
Interesting.
No, cool.
Yeah.
All right, wake up, everybody.
We're awake. I liked it. It's an interesting topic.
Deep.
Yeah.
I did what I
I mean,
can.
it's not archetypes, but it was a lot of fun.
I'll do an archetypes fight too. I think we're about ready.
Medicine for ghost.
GTD.
Medicine
For
for
ghosts.
ghosts.
Come on, the guy's sitting on the floor crying.
That podcast do anything for you? Well, that's not all. Stay tuned next week for the continuation of this episode, or whenever these things come out. Later.